Oh, look at this! Blizzard released Tides of Vengeance Survival Guide. Now, I don't really watch these since I keep up with the patch notes pretty regularly, but you know what? Let's just watch it for good old time's sake, because 8.1 is actually looking like a pretty good patch.
Welcome to the World of Warcraft Survival Guide for Tides of Vengeance, Battle for Azeroth's first major content update.
How? Yikes. So it does seem like a lot of people are unhappy with the Tides of Vengeance Survival Guide. And honestly, I had to look through the whole thing. I actually had to watch the video to see what the fuck everything was about. So if you watch the whole thing, you figure out that actually what they're releasing and what they're talking about in this update is not a lot compared to everything that 8.1 is supposed to have, and I guess you can add 8.15 as well. We honestly should have had Tides of Vengeance come out a lot earlier. So what does the video of patch 8.1 actual update actually cover? And this is for everybody who watched it but didn't pay attention, or someone who didn't even watch to begin with. They talked about new world quests and assaults, which are honestly kind of meh. You know, they're kind of exciting in detail of what they can do. Like, for example, the actual assaults that happen in like world quest areas, a lot similar to Legion invasions. Those will give you extra experience in terms of like how fast you can level your alts. It also is a great catch-up mechanic for your mains and alts at max level to get gear, but they don't say anything about it. They're just saying new world quests and assaults. So of course, to everyday man, that just sounds boring as hell. Then what do they say? They got the new war campaign. I'll be honest, the war campaign I guess is kind of cool. They're setting this whole Horde versus Alliance, and when the Horde will get the whole Sylvanas versus Saurfang type of deal going. So that's kind of exciting, but it's time-gated content. I'd say it's decent. It's something for you to do over time, but a lot of people don't keep up with the story. Then they actually talk about the content, the WARFRONT DARKSHORE. This one is going to be a give or take. I'm not going to hold it against people if they're not excited about WARFRONTs to begin with. Honestly, what I'm excited about is heroic WARFRONTs, but you know what? Those are coming out at a later time. Blizzard could have stated and talked a bit about WARFRONTs, brand new one, the theme, show off the gear maybe a little bit, what you can earn, the fact that you can earn mounts, say that there's a vendor available in that video, which is something you would know if you watch my videos or pay attention to patch 8.1 updates on other websites. They simply just don't add it in the video. That's actually kind of exciting. So there's parts of the Darkshore WARFRONT that are exciting, but I think most people are not particularly excited about, yay, brand new WARFRONT, because it's just like a bit of side content that you get to do once in a while. Then what else they got? They said 2 new island expeditions. Okay, so you're getting like your basic content out of the way, right? Oh, we got a new WARFRONT. Oh, some islands. And eventually we're gonna build up to like the big stuff, right? So that's what kind of, I think, is the expectation that a lot of people are getting, because it's an expectation that I would get if I didn't pay attention to the patches. On top of it, islands is a 50-50. Some people like them, some people don't like them, but most people don't really engage with that type of content. It is a way for you to farm Azeroth for your necklace, but not a lot of people enjoy farming. They could have talked a bit about the vendors and the possibility of brand new rewards. Just show off the rewards rather than talk about that there's 2 new islands and achievements, because I don't think that shows off enough. There's exciting parts about islands, but the fact that we're getting 2 whole new islands, I guess if you like new scenery, and there's one island that looks a lot like Stormheim, unless you're excited about just the actual like appeal of the island itself and how it looks, or you simply are just a huge fan of that kind of game mode, I don't think it's enough in a video. Then they talk about heritage armor, and I think everybody that's not a dwarf or a belf is kind of like meh. I guess it's kind of exciting that they're adding stuff like this, and they could talk a bit about in the future we'll have Tauren and Gnome. Like, they just show some kind of like the stuff that showed at BlizzCon. I feel like would have been good in the video to kind of like, oh, more to come. There's going to be a lot more of these. Stay tuned. Then they hit a profession update, which is exciting, I guess, to somebody. It's kind of niche. And then they talked about a brand new dungeon, but not what you're thinking, pet dungeon. So for pet battles. So honestly, kind of like LMAO, pet battles, PvE content. Was it like a real dungeon, Blizzard? And they said more updates at a later time. And that's it. So this is where they made their mistake. It honestly does kind of appeal to Again, this is for people that don't pay attention to the patch updates, because I feel like overall with what 8.1 is gonna bring is exciting. It's just, I guess it's gonna be time gated until we get the full update of 8.1. There is a brand new raid with awesome new mechanics they didn't cover in this video or talk much in detail about a brand new raid. Raiding has been one of the biggest things about World of Warcraft. They could have talked a bit about new raid coming in, and they even have a release date. They could have said at this certain time this raid will be released. Talk a bit about how it'll be faction specific, but you'll be able to play both. They said that stuff in BlizzCon, but in a video format, of course, like anybody who didn't pay attention to BlizzCon is gonna be like, is that all we're getting? Warfronts and islands and some heritage armor? Is that it? You know what I mean? They could have talked more about the Warfronts in terms of the gear that you'll be able to get. Show off a little bit in a video. Talk about how there's so many different vendors being added for all these systems. Talk a bit about Mythic Pluses and how they're trying to improve on it. Talk about there's going to be character class overhauls and mention, like name drop certain specs that they've been working on for patch 8.1. I mean, I know this is supposed to be just like a hint of a video, but the impression that this gives to a lot of people is like, that's all. Like, if this is the video, this was the update, right? And everything they're talking about, and that's it. That's all you're getting for all of patch 8.1, which is kind of like what it's almost making it sound like. Of course, you're going to have a lot of people unhappy. Patch 8.1 has a potential to bring a lot more to the team, and I feel like because this is such an introductory patch with a lot of time getting anyway, they should have had 8.1 like 2 weeks ago or something. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the feeling that I'm getting. Because we're gonna have to wait for the brand new raids here anyway. They're not gonna be doing that stuff until after Christmas, so people are actually back from holidays and are actually able to play the game, which is gonna be January 22nd. So for everybody who just wants to get on the game and have something to do, I mean, you'll have Warfront and 2 new islands. So those are already features that people are kind of they're like a 50-50 on those already. Heritage Armor is going to be fun the one time you do it, if you have the race that you are playing as a Belfort Dwarf. Professional updates are whatever. Pet battles are, I mean, there's going to be a small community that likes them. Out of like all of WoW community, there's definitely a small community that loves pet battles and they'll love doing all this stuff. But you can't say like majority of them is going to be pet battlers or anything like that. The war campaign is going to be a little bit time gated, as to be expected. The assaults itself, like when you get into the details of all this stuff that's coming out, it's like Warfront, brand new one. It's like, okay, whatever. But when you get into like, but look at the gear, but look at the item levels, look at the different vendors, look, you can get yourself a flying tiger, what probably is going to be a flying tiger for the Alliance, right? These are the details, is what I think they should have hit on. You know, the good stuff. They just kind of showed off, yeah, here's like the poster. But what you should really do is grab a magnifying glass and look at the details of that poster, what you're trying to show off. I don't know, I just wanted to take my notes on it, because I looked at it and I was like, wow, this is going to be good. And it's like, holy shit, that dislike ratio, what the fuck happened? And when you dive into the comments, of course, it's like, yeah, you didn't show the fun stuff. That's at least how I feel. Oh no, Blizzard, why? Oh no. Dude, this Diablo Immortal thing is not gonna, I mean, it's just not gonna, it's not gonna help anybody. I'm sorry for laughing, and I'm not trying to sound negative. I guess this video was just like a way for me to express why it was off and why I got the reaction that it did, what Blizzard could have done differently about it. You gotta get into the nitty-gritty stuff. I know you want to make this video a type of video where it's like, here's like the basics, but like with how little the patch is going to offer at first and how we're going to have to wait longer, because we've been waiting for a patch for a while anyway, is the idea that we're going to have to wait longer with not a lot of stuff to do, compared to at least Legion, it's just not that great. I don't know, man. I don't know. I remember in Legion there was always something to do all the fucking time. Yeah, it was, part of it was like the artifact power grind, but in terms of just straight up content, I remember it not ever being like, here's just a little bit and more to come. It was like, here's plenty to do and more to come. You know, it was satisfactory. Like, there's, okay, this stuff can keep me occupied for about a month. I don't think the Warfront and 2 islands and the Heritage Armor and Professional update is going to be enough to keep people occupied. But the fact that the brand new class updates are coming in, that would have been nice. People mentioned that. Maybe like, hey, you can farm stuff in Warfronts now with a vendor. That's nice. Hey, you know how you don't like doing Mythic Pluses? Now getting Azeroth gear and scrapping it has a chance for you to finally earn that piece of gear that you really want eventually. Are we even, now I'm even questioning if you're even going to have vendors. with 8.1 drop. I don't know. Sorry for a rambly video. I just felt like I should make it. Thank you for watching. I'll see all of you in the next one.